Honestly, y'all have been killing my confidence. All of the negative comments and gossip, it's hard to imagine the stress that I'm under. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm sorry for spitting the truth. Sorry for dissing that dude. Sorry for missing the point of the criticism. I was blinded by diamonds and loot. I apologize to all you guys. Y'all were right, I was out my mind. I went too far, I did too much. The haters were right when they said I suck. I did my best, it did nothing for me. I gave my guts and got lost in glory. I'm standing here while you sit before me. There's nothing left but to say I'm sorry.
To all the people that commented that either I don't know what I'm talking about, that I didn't play the game, or that the whole premise was disingenuous, seriously, at this point, you can just bite me. I have now attempted to play this game 4 times. I don't want to fucking hear about how I didn't play the right goddamn version of this stupid fucking game. Because now, there is a video recording of me playing the PS2 version, the Wii version, and the updated PS3 version. I have put more goddamn effort into trying this game than fans have actually playing it. I streamed it back on Twitch in 2021, did a video on the Wii version in 2022, streamed the PS2 version again this last June, and for my birthday I played the PS3 version called Alone in the Dark Inferno. The only versions I've yet to play is the 360 and PC version, and now I can officially say I have no interest in ever doing that. Although for collecting, I will need to own a 360 copy. I'm not excited about doing that, but I will at some point. Now to address some things. Just because it was pushed on the PS2 and the Wii consoles doesn't make my critique of the game invalid. I'm an artist, and even if something is not my best work, it's still open to be critiqued. There isn't much of a difference here. Eden Games made the main versions of this game, while Hydrovision made the ports for the Wii and PS2. I was not a fan of any of these versions I played, and even if there are inferior ports, that doesn't mean that they are above being played and talked about. Sure, no one is going out of their way to play the PS2 version, which is what I used for the worst of the worst video. Unless you're a PlayStation 2 collector, or a collector of horror games. Or maybe you just make videos on comparing the differences between the different versions of games. As long as you're making content that is allowed on YouTube, no one really has the right to say you can or cannot make a video on something just because it may not be to your specific tastes. One person who hated my video made what is referred to as a YTP, or YouTube poops, which is content I just don't understand, but hey, teach their own. There is a problem we have in gaming today, and that is when people think they have the right to decide who gets to talk on a subject and what we are and are not allowed to like. Now, I see this on Twitch all the time, telling people they're playing the wrong Resident Evil game, for example, because they are enjoying 6 and not playing whatever favorite you have. You are welcome to like Alone in the Dark. I'm actually glad there are people that do. I happen to like a lot of games that people look down on. Wanted Dead is one of my favorite examples right off the top of my head. A lot of people really hate that game, while I enjoyed every minute of playing it. I even bought the collector's edition, which I never do. Seriously, I think this is bad for gaming. Gamers are freaking out over things like Sweet Baby Inc., but gamers pull the same kind of things all the time. If someone thinks differently than you, then they are guilty of wrongthink. For example, I'm not a big fan of Elden Ring. I struggle to keep focused in open world games, and that is one that is just a little too big for me. I 100% see why people love it, but it's just not for me, and that's okay. I watch a homie of mine play it every time he streams, and it's a good time. I can easily look at my copy of Elden Ring and Wanted Dead and acknowledge that one is clearly made with more skill and finesse. It doesn't upset me that people dislike the one I enjoyed more. Hell, how many people enjoyed the game Wet? I love that game. This comment is one I actually agree with. This was an L for me. I didn't do a good job explaining why I disliked the game, even though I said over and over again that I disliked it. There weren't great examples used. Thankfully, there are plenty of examples on live streams and other videos I've done, but still, in this video, it was not done well enough, and that is something I want to correct in the future. Now, I had no interest in making this video in the first place. I was going to leave my worst of the worst video and move on to whatever is next and not play Inferno till someday down the road, but there are a few comments that pissed me off. The PS2 and Wii versions of this game are actually pretty fun. The Wii had really cool interactivity like mechanics, like opening your jacket, holstering the flashlight or pistol, checking the pistol for ammo. It did some interesting things, and Hydrovision, the dev, and did their best with what they had and the time they had. You're really hating the game for no reason. What is it with you YouTubers and the goddamn blinking mechanic? It's only in the first part of the game, for a few minutes. You didn't have to blink the whole game. You really come off as an annoying jerk in this video, and I hope you realize you're losing potential subscribers. You probably watched old commentary of this game, parroted a few talking points, and called it a day. Cheap, lazy, and stupid is what you are. If I lost you as a subscriber because you dislike my opinions on a video game, I'm glad I don't have you as one. Go sub someplace else. It's fine. I, in fact, do hate the game. For reasons. And since I didn't do a stellar job explaining what those reasons are, I will correct some of that right now. The controls are sloppy. Graphically, this game doesn't look good by any standards. There are PS2 games that put this one to shame in both style and color theory. The music for the PS2 and Wii versions sound terrible. Now the PS3 music is so much better. Voice acting still sucks. The writing for this game is juvenile as well. They couldn't be bothered to excel at first person or third person, so they half-assed both, and I guess that kind of goes back to the control issue. How about the Inferno build is supposed to be the definitive build of the game, and it's still a buggy mess. It's sad that idiots like you don't give games like these a chance and just parrot opinions without playing the damn thing. Again, the blinking part is only for a very short intro of the game, and then you can blink and hold sometimes to reveal secrets. But idiots like you make it seem like you have to blink during the whole playthrough. You're lazy and you suck. You clearly have no idea what you're talking about. It's super easy to look this up. I do play these games, and I even have a similar sentiment in this series when talking about Fester's Quest and Umbrella Corps. I think most people just list off talking points, but I wanted to make sure that I played these games. I do hate the blinking part of this game, and thank God Eden Games had the forethought to make sure you couldn't blink in third person, unlike the Hydrovision team. I put in the effort, and somehow 900 plus people have thought that I was worth subbing to, which is fucking wild to me. It's humbling and scary to have people watch anything I do. Same thing on Twitch or my live streams, where I don't get a chance to plan out what I say. The effort is there, and saying otherwise only makes you look like you haven't bothered to educate yourself. Anyone doing any video editing has a level of respect from me because it's rough. I personally hate it. In regards to the Wii version of Alone in the Dark, you're not supposed to flail your arm, dimwit. That's the point. It's short motion gestures. Is this really where we're at? Not just in video games, but topics in general. Where if you disagree with someone, your only real go-to is insulting them. Sad. I am not going to be told what I should like and what I shouldn't. I am not for everyone, and I never pretended to be. I'm just a guy who loves horror gaming. Even if I don't like a certain game, I'm happy it exists. For the most part. I am Adam the Horror Historian. And Alone in the Dark 2008 still sucks.